Hello Aquarius, thanks for joining me for the March of 2020 Tarot Scope with Animal Totem. This is Vickieverlie, the Rock and Roll Prophetess. I'm a psychic tarot reader who also does psychic astrology. This is for Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Rising, and Aquarius Moon. We're going to start with the psychic tarot reading using the Rock and Roll Tarot deck as always for the main portion of the reading. Then we're going to follow it up with a card from the Beast Mistress Animal Oracle cards. Both of these are my own design and available on my website. If you are a level 2 Patreon supporter, we are going to pull a card from additional bonus card, and this month's deck is going to be the Mystical Wisdom card deck by Gay Guthrie, and art by Josephine Wall. Okay, so let's move these cards aside, get into the main portion of the reading. This is for Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Rising, and Aquarius Moon. Ace of Rods is the first card out. The cards have been thoroughly shuffled in between prior to turning on the camera. And now I just do a loose shuffle in order to just let Spirit pull the cards out for this particular reading. We're going to pull 9 cards in all, and then we're going to pull 1 card from that Beast Mistress card deck. Alright, so here's your spread, Aquarius, for March of 2020. Let's turn off this bright light so we can see a little better on the camera. Well, Ace of Rods flew out of the deck, so it's a time to plant your seeds. Well, it is the Aries ingress on March 20th. And I am offering those special ingress readings for a limited time to the end of this month, so if you want to check that out, you can. But it's a big shift. It's a big change. In the Northern Hemisphere, this is exactly when we plant our seeds. You know, we plant our seeds in the spring to come to the beautiful harvest in the fall of the Empress energy. So planting seeds that are going to lead to this full-blown blossoming and, you know, beautiful harvest later on. If anybody out there is trying to get pregnant or knows somebody who is trying to get pregnant, these two cards together can well, the Empress is the pregnancy card, just period. Okay, but then you factor in the Ace of Rods. I mean, you know, the impregnant, the seed that's planted could be the seed in the womb, and it could be an actual birth for some people. You're going to have a lot of blessings here. This is really nice. You got this angelic card, the Temperance card, of this higher force and this angelic blessings overlooking you and helping sow your seeds, helping water your garden, helping to make things grow. You're on strong ground here. You're standing on strong ground. You have you know, the Empress, and then you have the Magician too. So these are both cards of being very much self-sufficient, very much in a really good place, very much, you know, in a position of strength. Excuse me, let me get a drink of water real quick. Excuse me. Yeah, you could be in a position of strength. So the news is coming in the time of fire. Well, as I just mentioned, after the 20th, we're going to move into the sign of Aries, which is fire. So there will be some fire energy, and there's news coming. And then you have Hierophant in reverse. Some unusual circumstances. See, when these two cards show up together, too, and you've got like the Temperance or even the Star card being up here, looking down on stuff like this, this talks about there's things that we can't see from our vantage point. We just can't. So we're looking at, well, I want this thing, I want to create this thing, I want this thing to happen, and we really can't see. We can only see what's right in front of us in this 3D reality for the most part. But from a higher perspective and a higher level, these higher angelic things can really see different avenues and different approaches that we just don't see, you know, and that might be a better fit, that might be closer to what we're actually looking for. Many of you, you know, we're going to be leaving things behind. You might be traveling, but for the most part, this is really about leaving things behind, putting it in the past and moving forward. It might be painful. This is a card of things kind of being painful. You know, we're going through some struggle. We're going through some emotional upheavals and trauma, but with the Empress here and with this card and this card, it's going to be worth it. with change, even giving birth. Giving birth is a painful process for the mother and the child. It's not just like, okay, here's the pretty baby. It's like, it's a lot of struggle. It's a lot of pain. It's a lot of, there's a lot of upheaval, and, giving birth to something new requires upheaval and some crazy kind of energy. Isn't March when we're going, Saturn might be moving into your sign. I believe it is March. Let's double check that. Because Saturn is coming into Aquarius for just going to touch in there for just a minute. And then it's going to back out again. Yeah, it is going to be towards the end of March. I needed to make a note of that. Saturn is going into Aquarius. That's a big change. Saturn into Aquarius. And that's going to be, it looks like around, according to this, it's the 22nd. But it can always vary by a day or so, depending on your location. But so, little after the equinox, Saturn's going to go into Aquarius. So that's a pretty big thing there, I need to write that down over here, too. Yeah, because Saturn has not been in Aquarius since, I will tell you when that last time that Saturn was in Aquarius. Saturn has not been in Aquarius, the last time was in 1991 through 1994. So it's nearly 30 years, so Saturn's coming back around to your sign again. This is going to be a big thing. Very often people do make big drastic changes to their lives and do crazy, not crazy things, but just make big changes to their lives, because Saturn, they can feel the presence of the Saturn energy, and Saturn in general is just not going to allow for anything that's not long-standing. And that's what spirits and angels want for you. They want something that's going to be, the word fuse is really standing out to me on there. And for some reason, to me, it reminded me of fused glass. So I don't know if that's something out there, that there's somebody doing fused glass, or they, something along those lines. Or is it something else like, fusion, jazz fusion, and musical style. It could be a lot of different things. Or maybe it's a fuse, you got to go down in the old time, change the fuse box or something, But that did pop out at me. By the way, allow that to happen. If you see words popping out at you, that's what's so cool about this deck, that it really does show you things, okay? You can, if you allow it, if you go there. Okay, let me go ahead and turn up... I'm going to turn it up. I don't know if I'm turning it up, but I'm definitely shuffling up the animal totem cards, and we're going to get our animal totem card for our Aquarius friends. Don't forget, I do have that ingress reading available to the end of this month, and there's all kinds of other readings available too on my website if you're interested, so do check it out. I almost flipped, but there was about 3 or 4 cards there, and I'm trying to get just one card to come out. The rabbit. Rabbit is an additional card of pregnancy. In the olden days, there was the rabbit die, that meant pregnancy, and rabbits are, they reproduce a lot, so Rabbit and Emperor shown up here. I think for some people out there, there's definitely going to be some kind of pregnancy thing popping up. Okay, sensitive, artistic, clever, nimble, outsmarting adversaries by staying one step ahead. Taking colossal leaps and sprinting into the future. Heightened libido and procreation. Yeah, but this taking colossal leaps and sprinting into the future, yeah, that definitely seems to be a theme here too. You're sprinting into the future. Magician is really charged. Magicians are not, okay, let's wait and see what happens, sitting around, well, maybe it'll happen or whatever. Magician's out there taking action. Magician's going for it. They're going after what they want, and they're really going for it. So, taking action, going after what you want. That's definitely a big theme here. And having abundance, Saturn's can really give you some abundance. Saturn is also your ancient co-ruler. Before the discovery of Uranus, Saturn was your ruler. So there's that factor. There's that in there too. There's that factor going on too. Okay, so let me go ahead. What we're going to do next is we're going to shuffle up the cards for the Mystical Wisdom card deck. All right. Excuse me. Woo! And this is for Patreon level 2 people. So if you are a Patreon subscriber, level 2, you get all the readings. You don't have to go through and pay for each bonus card on, on the other site. Whatever that other one is. I used to be on it, but I'm not anymore. So I just said, let's just give it to all my level 2 patrons. So we're going to do one more card. If you're interested in finding out any of that, you can check out my website. I have books and decks and readings and coloring books and t-shirts that I design and just all sorts of stuff. And I want to thank you all for perusing and purchasing my wares. By doing so, that keeps this videos coming each and every month. Remember, you are love and beauty incarnate. Have a great month of March, and I'll speak to you soon.